Welcome to the Final Buzzer Podcast. This is week number 16. We got all kinds of sports news and everything, and coming back from a little bit of break, we're happy you're here to join us today. This is the Final Buzzer Podcast. All right, guys. Wildcard Weekend was just upon us last weekend. Big news in the NFL. NBA is finally really starting to ramp up and everything. We're starting to get more of an idea of what teams are definitely playoff teams, which aren't, and who's kind of showing out this year so far. So we're going to go ahead and get right into it. Go ahead and, I guess, apologize a little bit for the little bit of a break. It's been a couple weeks that we took off for the holiday season. Hard to get together and everything like that with family, friends, and everything, especially when New Year's and Christmas line up on our recording days. But we're glad everybody's back and glad we're having a good time. But any kind of shockers you guys saw with the Wildcard Weekend last week?
There's the obvious Eagles and Bears game. I've heard people surprised about the Cowboys game. I wasn't surprised, honestly. I knew we were going to go into – it was in Dallas, so, you kind of figured that they were going to win that either way. And it's against the Seattle team who has somewhat struggled in recent weeks. They got on a hot streak in the middle of the season. That's why they made the playoffs.
And beyond that, though, especially Seattle struggles when they're behind because they're a run-first team. I mean, when you're behind, you can't play run-first.
Yeah.
But I thought everything played well. Besides the Houston game and Colts, every game was decided within a score, I believe, or within 5 or 6 points. So it was definitely a good weekend for football.
That's the game that shocked me the most. Well, maybe not the most, but the Colts game, because I thought for sure that the Texans defense would maybe not expose how good that the Colts offensive line has been here recently. And it would disrupt Andrew Luck so much that, the Texans won the game, but I was mistaken, and they ran it up 21-0 real quick, didn't they?
Yeah.
Very quick. And it's Deshaun's very good, but I don't think he's got all the necessities beside him. I think when they made that midseason trade for Demaryius Thomas, it wasn't enough. I think they would have been better off with some of those other wide receivers that got traded. But all in all, it was decent. I do believe that the Colts are an absolute monster right now. They have.
Oh yeah, for sure.
They are we're going to talk about a little bit. They are my favorite to win the Super Bowl. They've been on a hot streak. They started out 1-5 and haven't lost since. If they have, it was something irregular that doesn't happen very often. They have a young defense that swarms to the ball, 8-9 guys at the ball carrier anytime he's tackled. I mean, it is amazing, and even then, the offense works well too. I mean, you got what's his name, Mack, out of the backfield there for the Colts was making people look silly on Saturdays. So I'm really excited about that Colts team. I think Andrew Luck's got a great chance to get him a Super Bowl win.
Oh yeah, like you said, the Colts are probably the scariest team right now because they have nothing to lose. And talk about a transformation from a team that doesn't have Andrew Luck, last year, the bottom quarter of the league.
Frank Reich deserves Coach of the Year.
Yeah,
for sure.
and then you come this year and then you make the playoffs and you have a potential push. Me and you both said, they're a dangerous team right now. And honestly, I agree with Austin. I see them making it to the Super Bowl. I could see them making it to the Super Bowl.
They're not my favorite.
No, they're not mine.
They're my favorite. No. They're my favorite right now, and I fully believe in them right now.
I don't think there's enough there to push them over the top.
What do you think they're missing? Just not being they're good, but they're just not good enough. They're not great, or is there something?
Andrew Luck's obviously great, and the offensive line is coming together nicely, but I don't think you have enough, big name guys yet to really push you over. And I guess you could say that as a team they're playing really well, and that's a good thing to have. But I just over the whole playoffs, I'm just not sure that's enough to carry them.
While they may not have as many clutch players, they still have T.Y. and everything like that, of course. But while the clutch, they don't have a lot of big names. They don't. If we're looking at it, they have Andrew Luck, which is an athlete, and you have T.Y. and the running backs moderately well known.
They're the island of misfit toys.
Exactly, they really are. But I'm telling you right now, they are a scary group of guys going against. I definitely can see them Super Bowl. I can see Super Bowl, but we'll see.
Honestly,
for sure be able to see.
Another game I liked this past weekend was the Chargers-Ravens game. Lamar, he had a pretty good game.
I thought he was mishandled offensively.
Oh, very
oh yeah, for sure.
Very much.
You you sent out a group text saying like, oh, he only passed the ball 10
At
times.
halftime, at the end, it was 17.
Oh, okay, so he threw the ball 7 times in the second half when he's down. Like, that's still not.
No, it was more than that, wasn't it? Because he finished, and I think in the second half he threw it 20 times. He had 11 completions.
Well,
And he went from throwing, he like doubled his attempts. And it might have just been in the fourth quarter. I'm not even sure if it was the third and fourth. It might have just been the fourth. But had you been letting him do it the whole game,
it might be a different result.
I am happy with what they did though, by especially like late third, early fourth. A lot of people, like, you could see Joe Flacco sitting there. He was kind of ready to go. And Baltimore, they was in Baltimore. Baltimore was getting upset. I mean, the whole like booing and things like that. But Baltimore's made the decision now. If you're not going to throw Joe Flacco in when you're down 3 or 4 scores and you're going to give him that shot, even though he's won playoff games and stuff like that, that shows me that they are full on. They are Lamar from now on.
They're sold on Lamar.
They're
for sure.
sold on Lamar for sure.
and I'm a little frustrated. I'm sorry, you go ahead and finish.
Yeah, no, I mean, Joe Flacco and Nick Foles are probably the biggest free agents coming into the NFL this year. It's going to be an interesting free agency nonetheless. But onto the Ravens. Like if Lamar has more of a secure on that ball, it could have been a much better game.
If they could get a great running back
or even an offensive line,
that's definitely more important.
That was really bad. Even before the playoffs, there was a few games
the
you could
Chiefs
just see
game.
they gave him no chance to actually throw the ball. And we could sit here, and I'm not defending him, but like we could say all he's going to do is run the ball. Well, if the pocket's collapsing that quick, then I would too. Yeah. So I would get out of there as fast as possible.
But it is good though. I think like Lamar we've shown that he's a good passer. He's a good passer. He's not a great passer.
Yeah.
So I feel like though, if you give him all the time in the world, he's going to start making. He might make a little bit more mistakes.
He'll probably never be a great passer, but he'll be at least an adequate one that you can trust him with the ball.
Absolutely.
More.
Yeah, you can still throw the ball. He's not cutting you.
He won't be Michael Vick, but he'll be close. He'll be really close.
I'm a little upset with the Raven fans though, just because I think they all wanted Lamar to be great, and the moment his first playoff game, the youngest quarterback to be in a playoff game, he loses, and you're like, oh, what put Joe Flacco? Come on, guys, you can't have it both ways. You got to pick one and stick with it.
He's what, 22, 23?
He's 21.
Oh, he's 21.
I believe
okay.
No, I'm gonna say he was pretty young. Like,
okay, so he's 21 years old, and the average quarterback lasts around what? Till they're 35, 36 around that age.
Easy.
So
you're starting to see him now at the 40s at least. I mean,
so he
has.
has.
The way that the game's progressing.
Yes.
He has almost more than 10 years in this league. Still left, barring any injuries.
And it's like I said, even that the Ravens defense, if they can maintain how good they are, they'll be back in the playoffs.
The second best defense in the league for sure.
They'll definitely be back in the playoffs.
Yeah. The Chargers though, I don't want to say they're my favorite, for the AFC, but they're putting in a run for their money.
They haven't really got enough respect the whole season, really.
Phillip Rivers.
Who's really been talking about him?
Yeah, Phillip Rivers has been an underrated quarterback since he's been drafted.
I think it's probably how they want it, though.
Yeah.
They probably don't want people talking about him. They would.
Well, when people start talking about him, they start to lose.
Exactly. So we just all pretend like they don't exist. Maybe they win the whole thing.
It does worry me though. Their situation at running back, Melvin Gordon. He's very good when he's healthy. I mean, he came in this week off the injury, and midway through he was injured. He was hurt again with that knee, and I think later on he came back and everything like that. But if you're gonna be able to go with the big dogs, if you're gonna go play on the biggest stage with them all, you gotta have a healthy running back. You gotta have some kind of run threat, and that's what in today's NFL you do one of two things: you pass to run, or you run to pass.
For sure,
you do one or the other. You got to be able to set that defense off. If they know you're throwing 3 downs, then you're already at a disadvantage. So you got to have some kind of decent running game, or at least some, especially that you see now. Even though they may pass all 3 downs, but it might be a screen pass, which is basically, might as well be a run. It's just pumping up stats right now. But I do like them as well.
Well, since the situation with Kareem Hunt, Kansas City has been strictly passing.
Yes.
Yes. I don't blame them, but you can see that their team has suffered from that loss of a player. They're getting closer games. They've lost a couple of games. I honestly don't think that they make it. They may not make it past this weekend.
That's why I see. Yeah, that's exactly why I see the Colts being able. They almost have an easier walk into the Super Bowl because they're playing the Chiefs this week with a defense that's shoddy, with an offense that hasn't clicked since he's been gone. I mean, Patrick Mahomes is very good. I mean, he is very, very good. But that Colts defense is not one to be nodded at. I mean, they've had quite a few picks against they had quite a few picks against Deshaun Watson and things like that last week. So that's why I feel like they have the better shot.
All right, let's talk about the controversy of the week, I guess. Bears kicker, hits the first one. Ice, though. Doug Peterson got the clutch timeout right in the nick of time. They don't call him, I don't know what they call him.
Was it or was it not blocked?
It was tipped. It was tipped.
But, okay, so why is this kicker getting so much hate? It seems to me like that could happen to anybody. I don't care who you plug in the situation. If that defender's hand is there.
I'll tell you why it's getting so much hate, because it's Chicago. And he's missed 11 kicks, and they think that they're ready for another Super Bowl shuffle.
But even like the Eagles and Bears, though, special teams struggled.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
All game.
For sure, yeah. I mean, Cody Parkley, I think was his name. I can't remember his last name. He's missed 11 field goals all year. All year he's missed 11 field goals, which isn't too bad for a kicker.
But you got to hit them when they count.
You got to
hit them when they count.
You could be a Tampa Bay kicker.
But if we lose by 30 though, and he misses a field goal, I'm okay with that.
Yeah. I understand that, but then again, it's not his fault.
He's a rookie too, I believe.
No.
I'm thinking of someone else.
Parkley's been in the league for a bit.
Thinking of the Chargers kicker, who kicked 5 field goals on Saturday or Sunday, I believe. Yeah, Sunday.
But Jesus Christ, guys, give the guy a break.
He definitely didn't deserve as much.
No, I mean the kick was tipped. I mean, any type of deflection or any type of differential in movement is going to make that ball
It was never shown though. To be fair, on Sunday Night Football and everything, they all kept showing them hitting the upright twice, which honestly is fake. Just absolutely just shoving it down your throat. But they never really talked about it being, they never got talked about being tipped until after the game.
Yeah. Do you think he's fired?
No, for sure not. If he does, I'll take him in Dallas. I'll for sure take him in Dallas.
There'll be a lot of outcry from the fans, but
for sure.
If you even see it during the press conference and everything like that, there's guys dabbing him up and stuff like that, making sure he's all right and everything that.
Yeah, basically this year was a striptease for Chicago Bears fans for what's to come.
And that's the thing too. You see a lot of times. Again, we're at the end of the season, but you'll see start going forward. They're going to go with younger quarterbacks who don't have a big contract.
Yeah.
And that's where they can build the rest of the team. And they can build the rest of the team. Yeah. And Mr. Trubisky still isn't on that huge contract yet. So they can afford to get the Khalil Mack.
Yeah, he doesn't have that type of – he doesn't have those numbers yet.
Yeah, and Allen Robinson will develop into a wonderful weapon.
Jay Cutler could have taken this team to the Super Bowl. Or at least to a playoff game.
All right. Let's go ahead and talk about next week's Divisional Round. Big games. We'll go ahead and start off with the only team here, I guess, that's represented.
The Cowboys lone team.
The Cowboys versus Rams at the Coliseum.
So I'm going to tell you this. Whichever team wins this game is going to the Super Bowl. Whichever team wins this game is going to the Super Bowl, in my opinion.
I mean, honestly, both of those teams have beat, of course, you're in the NFC. Dallas and LA. No, I'm sorry. LA did not beat the Saints early in the year. I'm sorry. I got it the other way around. I mean, it's definitely... we'll stick with this game right now because I won't go into the Philadelphia-New Orleans game. But Dallas's defense has been playing out of their mind right now, better than they have in years. Jared Goff's been slow. He better have taken this week off with Wildcard to really get it together and everything like that.
Surprisingly, no boat pictures this season.
Yes, but he needs to get his Jared Goff. If Jared Goff plays good football, the Rams will win. But Jared Goff has not been playing good football the last few weeks, so.
I think the Rams got it, but I think I would have loved to see the Cowboys win it.
I want to.
So hold on. Let's make this interesting. I'm going to go with the Cowboys just because I have to.
Okay.
Because that's my team, and this will be our first conference championship.
You can no longer complain because Dallas got out of the wild card. You can forget about Des Bryant's catch now because you're up to that.
No, I still remember that. We would have won a Super Bowl that year. Don't even talk about that.
But
yeah, this will be our first conference championship since 1995. I believe in them. I believe in the Hot Boys. I believe in the Dallas offense. Amari Cooper. Allen Hurns went out with a very bad injury against who did we play? Jesus, I can't remember.
The Hawks.
Yeah, that's right. The Seahawks. Yep, I already forgot about him.
I think, and look at this game, I don't think the Cowboys win it. I think if they do win it, the Rams lost it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
The Rams would have to choke it away from me in order for me to think the Cowboys would win this game.
This could go both ways. But the Rams, they haven't played since Week 17 where they played the Niners. Not really necessarily a hard team by any means. The week before they played the Cardinals in an absolute blowout, 31-9. Lost to the Rams, lost to the Bears. Haven't beat a good team probably since the Chiefs in probably Week 14. So they're out of practice right now.
I just want to tell
They're
you
out of practice.
that the Rams are the favorites by 4.5 points.
That is, I guess I'm not realizing.
I guess after the game last night, the national championship, the spread really doesn't matter. But yeah.
For that, though, just because they're up, they need to play out. They haven't played out. Even at the last few weeks of the season, they haven't played well. But I am going to go with LA, though.
All right.
And Gep, you had LA hoping for Dallas.
Yeah.
Though.
Yeah.
But
I would pull through for an underdog.
Yeah. I understand.
But I just, nah.
I understand.
So I also think that no matter what the season brings, whether it be a Super Bowl or an exit this week or next week, Jason Garrett needs to be gone no matter what.
If Jason Garrett wins this round, he's not being fired.
If Jason Garrett wins the Super Bowl, I don't know what I'll do.
He'll be on for life. He'll be on for life. That's what it will.
Let's go on to this next game, Philadelphia and New Orleans. Interesting game. Nick Foles is playoff Nick Foles right now. Basically playoff LeBron, but in football form.
If he wins out, I could see, like, why keep Carson Wentz?
So that's what I was going to ask you guys. When inevitably Nick Foles does win the Super Bowl this year, somehow, some way, if he does it, what does Philadelphia do with Nick Foles being in free agent? Like, his contract is up after this year.
I would sign him, and I would trade Carson Wentz because I guarantee you
I don't think
he can get a lot.
Hold on. This is my point, though. He's basically a Ryan Fitzpatrick, but at a better level. Because the first 3 weeks he started, he lost. He won one of them and lost the other two.
It was a fluke, man.
It was a fluke?
It was a fluke.
Just hear me out. If he wins the Super Bowl,
if
he wins the Super Bowl again, you trade Carson Wentz, and you can get a lot.
Absolutely. And Carson Wentz is young. Carson Wentz is injured, though. They're not too far in age. Nick Foles is 29, and he almost retired a few years ago. Doug Peterson kept him in. Carson Wentz is 26, still young. If someone can find some light for Carson Wentz, I think so. But Carson Wentz, I don't think it's proved that. Besides, I guess, the year before where he took them on like a 15-game win streak.
So my thing with that is you have to prove, if you're Carson Wentz, that you can play in December. Because every single year in December he gets hurt.
And,
like,
that's what,
and as a team, you like that. But, I mean, like as the Philadelphia Eagles, you're amazing because, you know, teams are preparing for Carson Wentz and then they get Nick Foles out of nowhere and he drops dimes. Like, I mean, it's amazing, but I mean, like at some point you gotta make a choice for your future. Like you said, Nick Foles is 29, Carson Wentz is what 26. So 3 years apart. You know, both of these quarterbacks can be quarterbacks of the future, but which one do you let go of? And if you let go of Carson Wentz, why? Is it just because of his injuries? Because his numbers are a lot better than Nick Foles by far.
It's because I wouldn't keep both, and you've got a guy who's proven that he's going to get you.
It's a clutch. It's a clutch gene that I wish that he could pick up.
So Nick Foles led them to the Super Bowl, but he didn't start till week 14 last year.
I think there's a sense of like
he went 6-1 last year and won a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Like I mean.
Well, are you saying that Carson Wentz to start the season off would have had a better record? Are you saying that you think that if Carson Wentz had started when the season started, that record, those 3 games would be different?
I don't know, because week 2 they played the
played
Bucks.
Tampa once.
Yeah, and that was when Ryan Fitzpatrick threw for 500 yards or whatever.
Freak of nature.
Exactly. So I don't know.
And then they lost to the Titans in week 4, and that's when they benched him.
Regardless, though, not necessarily benched him when Carson Wentz came back.
Yeah, they decided to start Carson.
The defense started playing better, too. It's not just the offensive side of the ball, because even then, one time we played them in Tampa, they were still scoring points with Nick Foles.
Yeah.
And they scored with Carson Wentz. They can score with both guys.
Yeah,
it's when
the
defense plays, it starts covering up the mistakes of everything else.
Trade Carson Wentz for some picks. Sign Le'Veon.
I don't know if they're worth a lot. I
but
don't think Carson Wentz is worth
I
as
think
much
he
as you
really
think
is.
Who?
I think he really.
What do you think?
is.
What do you think a team would give for him?
Carson
What
Wentz.
would?
I mean, I'm not gonna put a number on him.
You're gonna go. Honestly, you're gonna go ginger to ginger.
I mean,
What would you give?
Ginger to ginger.
Ginger to ginger.
Andy Dalton, Carson Wentz.
I'm not gonna put a price tag on it, but he's 26. If you got quarterbacks less than 40, that's a long time.
Yes.
Oh yeah, for sure.
He has the ability. It's just, do teams look at the injury proneness and be like, that discourages me. But you got to think, people are egotistical, and if they think, I got better trainers here, I can keep him healthy, I can get the best out of him, I can soak up all of this talent.
I mean, Deshaun Watson came off an ACL tear and had a heck of a year.
Exactly.
I
So
mean, it can happen.
So I don't really know of a team that needs a quarterback though. Like
I can tell you quite
desperately.
I can tell you quite a few.
Like, but
If the Bengals could get Carson Wentz, I would take it.
I can tell you.
Right
like,
now, I'm going to take it.
But like the Browns have a quarterback for their future. Maybe the Steelers, but they don't really need one because they have Big Ben and he's still on contract. Let's see. The Ravens have a quarterback. Texans have a quarterback. Colts have a quarterback.
The Skins with Alex Smith, who may or may not be back.
He
He's
may-
old. He's
I
been
don't-
inconsistent as
I-
heck. The Giants with Eli Manning. They've been talking about getting rid of him for a while.
I
now.
guarantee they get Dwayne Haskins from Ohio State.
I saw it today where he said he would like to go there, so he's been a Giants fan.
For sure.
But-
I guarantee he goes to New York.
Buffalo. I don't think that.
Josh Allen?
I don't think Josh
He's only
Allen's
had
all the
1
hype.
year. He's
I
only
don't
had
think
1
he's
year.
worth all the hype though. He hasn't played well. And like I said, any of these guys, the Jets have already bought into Sam Darnold.
Sam Darnold, yeah.
They've completely. New England could use another quarterback.
Well, to me,
Where New England could use another quarterback.
to
guys.
me, it wouldn't be a team that was bottom of the pile because he's not like a dude that you take and you start over.
Yeah.
He's already established.
He's a
Like,
great-
we know
he
what
is a great
Carson Wentz
backup.
is going to give you.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Never mind. Go ahead.
And I mean,
So maybe the Steelers do.
Gruden,
He
yeah.
doesn't have that much time. At least to me, I don't think he plays for more than, honestly, 2 years.
I can't see it. I'm surprised he's playing this year. I really am. I'm very surprised.
I mean, the Cardinals have Josh Rosen. 49ers have Jimmy G.
Denver. Like I
Maybe,
said,
but he doesn't fit that system.
I think New England could do it in Miami. Ryan Tannehill's been on and off.
Yeah,
And
I
when
could
he's
see
playing well,
him
he can
going
play
to
well.
Miami.
If
Yeah.
I'm Miami, I think I would take Carson Wentz over
I would.
Tannehill.
Yeah. I
Oh,
would too.
for sure.
I would
For
too.
sure, especially with his last 2 seasons in.
And Ryan Tannehill, though, he does play very well with competition, with
He does.
serious competition.
He
When
does.
it's Jay Cutler, I mean, the competition's not there. I mean, it's just not.
I mean, is Jay Cutler really competition? I
But
mean-
we'll definitely move on from the whole quarterback talk. It's for next season.
All right.
But
So we still didn't finish this
yes,
game, no?
I have New Orleans. Drew Brees is
You have New Orleans?
yes.
I
Drew
have New
Brees
Orleans.
Give me Nick Foles.
NBD. Everybody doesn't know it's BDN.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good old Big Dick Nick.
Big Nick.
All right. Going over to the AFC, which is still stupid how LA Chargers can play the same stadium that the Rams do, but
No, they
in two
don't.
different divisions, or not in the same.
They play in the same city, not the same city.
I'm sorry, but playing that's all
They
right.
play in
the same-
StubHub. Yeah.
playing the same city and being in different divisions. I just don't get it. I don't get it.
Well, what about Houston and Dallas? They're
It's
50
just
miles
dumb.
apart.
That's just dumb. But anyways, I
Uh,
have New England.
give me Los Angeles.
Give me the Chargers.
Yes.
Y'all forgot Bill Belichick existed. That's
No,
what y'all
no,
just
no,
forgot.
listen,
That's what
listen.
y'all just forgot.
Listen, because Tom Brady's due for a Super Bowl, like missing a Super Bowl,
I feel like if he'll do it though, it'll
And
be
then-
next week.
and then after that, next year he's gonna come and win it, and then he's gonna retire. That's for sure. Book it up. Call your bookers right now. Set it on the lock. Let's see, Colts.
Mortgage the house on it.
Yeah, yeah. Go against the spread. Colts and
Kansas.
Chiefs. I don't know. This is a difficult one.
I
Like
got Colts.
it really is difficult because Kansas City's defense isn't playing that well. You know, you don't know what you're getting with that bye week. You know, they've been playing some pretty close games recently.
I've had Colts for forever and a day now, and
I know what I said
I'm with them for the
earlier.
end.
I know what I said earlier, but I think I'm going to take the Colts.
Here it is.
Take the Colts.
Now, just for you, you said you had Kansas, or did you make a full choice?
I haven't made one yet, but I'm leaning Kansas City, so I'll just go ahead and go with that. It really doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah.
but like,
Me and Gep agreed on everything today, so we kind of just busted it out. But regardless, let's just say
No,
one.
you said Patriots.
Yeah.
I said Chargers.
Yeah, I guess on that one. I think it's hard to beat the Patriots at home, especially with LA traveling as much as they do. If New England wins, I feel like they lose to both. They would lose to the Colts and Kansas City. But I do worry about doing the Colts. The Colts were the only, I believe, away team I had
Honestly,
going and beating someone at home. Arrowhead's a tough place to play too, though. It is, but I feel like I have the Colts winning this one. Winning the whole thing.
I kind of hope for a Patriots and Cowboys Super Bowl just to
everyone would hate themselves.
Just to piss everybody off. But let's go into our Super Bowl favorites, I guess. Even if it's not this week's picks or whatever, because in the NFC we went to 1-2 and that hardly ever happens. So let's go ahead and have this discussion, I guess. Obviously, I have Dallas winning it all because I kind of have to. But if Dallas were to lose, I think LA goes to I don't know. Because now that I'm thinking about it, Drew Brees has had a career year this year.
I don't know. You do kind of like a premonition here, and I see the Saints and I see the Colts. I see it in my head. It's just popping up, and I'm not saying I'm a psychic or anything or can see the future, but it's just guys, I'm thinking it's gonna be it.
You know where I stand. I've said it a bunch already in this podcast. You know where I stand.
But really, if the Saints make it, I don't know who you have coming out of the NFC. If the Saints make it, do you really think the Colts can beat the Saints?
I really hope so. Like I said, coming out of the NFC, if it's what we have predicted with Rams and the Saints, that'll be a heck of an NFC championship.
I mean, they've played before. But...
I know. It will be. But it was a heck of a game when they played, too. It was a great game when they played. I'm
thinking of the Rams and the Chiefs.
The Saints defense have played well, but when they picked up Eli Apple from the Giants.
The Giants, yeah.
He was a very good corner for the Giants, and he has not shown whatsoever. Yeah. That has been a good corner. I want to say Indiana. I would definitely Indianapolis would be the underdog by probably 5 or 6 points playing against New Orleans, but I have faith in them. I think they could do it.
So yeah, I have LA out of the NFC if Dallas doesn't make it. Obviously, I have Dallas, and then if my backup is the Rams, and then on the AFC, I have the Chargers and Colts like we have right now. Give me the Chargers. Like I want to battle.
I would give you Chargers of that because it would be at Chargers.
Can you just imagine a battle for LA, like Rams and Chargers
for
the Super Bowl?
That would be very nice. That would be nice. All right. We'll go ahead and we've been gone for a couple weeks, so we have plenty of NFL news. We won't go over everything that's happened in the past 2 weeks, but we'll definitely talk about coaching searches. 8 teams fired coaches, and a lot of them started. We fired Derek Cutter the Sunday we lost Week 17, so it did not take long for a lot of people to get started. And I know Monday a lot of people got fired as well. But where do you see the Bengals? What's their most likely head coach hire this year?
Honestly, knowing the Bengals, I bet it's Bill Lazor. He was an offensive coordinator. Hiring in-house seems like something that they want to do just because of the track we've been on for so long. I don't like that. I don't want that.
You know who else is in-house, right?
To be fair, they said they interviewed. He was an early front runner. We're talking about Hugh Jackson, obviously. But he has fallen back. I don't think he's getting the job anymore. According to rumors, he's not getting the job anymore.
I for sure hope not. But I bet it's Bill Lazor. What I would like to see, though, is I believe that the Chiefs' offensive coordinator got an interview. And I think that would be something that we should strongly consider.
Yeah. Honestly, if I were you guys, I would have went for the Texas Tech coach, Kingsbury, but he's leaning towards the Cardinals, I believe. But yeah, like an amazing offensive mastermind, like one of the best to do it at the college level. And I mean, he's still pretty young, but he signed the deal with USC, and then immediately, like today, the ESPN released that he was in talks with Arizona Cardinals about a head coaching position. Obviously, your Buccaneers fired Derek Cutter. They already have a front runner, Bruce Arians.
Yes, and I'm very excited. I can't remember. Give me 1 second. I'll look it up. I had it saved. They're actually wanting to bring in a new offensive coordinator. Well, with
that's nice.
Bruce Arians, nice. And it was, I believe, he was the coach for. He coached with Bruce Arians. I'm trying to find the name. I really liked him. I'll get back to you on that.
I mean, what other positions have there been?
I mean, you obviously have Green Bay,
Yeah.
which is a big question mark, I believe.
Yeah.
And also, I mean, we haven't really heard a whole lot about Denver, Dolphins, anything like that, Adam Gase and everything. I feel like he belongs on teams.
Let me research this, but I'm pretty sure that they said Adam Gase was.
Todd Bowles, I'm sorry, I was going back to my other
Yeah.
point. Todd Bowles, former head coach for the Jets, is planning on joining Bruce Arians' staff as offensive coordinator. And I would love it. 2 head coaches coming together and taking over a team. People really don't like our offensive coordinator that we have. I enjoy him. I think he's better than Cutter in every way. The game Cutter takes over, we do awful and abysmal. We had 3 points with 500 yards. So I don't think that's the issue. The offensive coordinator wasn't the issue. We have plenty of talent on offense, and defense coordinator, honestly, just doesn't have the tools to work.
I do just want to say that Dirk Cutter went to the Falcons.
That's what I'm going to say. He was a front runner for the offensive coordinator spot.
Yeah.
And I still don't think that's a good spot for him. I don't think Atlanta can get things going that way. I don't think that's the right move for Atlanta. That's just me being salty. He goes to a divisional rival and everything. So,
talk about Chris Richard, the defensive coordinator for the Cowboys. He's literally transformed this team's defense.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Like, if you look at the team last year, he got Leighton Vander Esch, and that was one of the only like people that are actually playing this year that we drafted. That was the only person he got, and they're playing out of their minds. Like, I could honestly see him leaving, and I hate to say that. I hope we can just block him, because apparently you can do that now. You just be like, hey, you want to interview him? Nah, we're good.
It is. I can see it with a playoff team like New England. Bill Belichick has it done to him every year. His coordinators are always put onto
Matt Patricia.
McDaniels.
McDaniels, yeah.
Yes, I think he said he's not doing any more interviews until the playoffs are over. That's a huge
that's smart.
distraction. That's a huge distraction for him and the team and everything. And just honestly, it's not. I don't think it's a good look for the NFL in general. You need to wait till the team's done with them. I mean, that's rude.
But
I don't give a fuck.
It's disrespectful.
I also don't like the fact that, like, I understand, like, if an NFL wants to interview a college coach, I completely understand them saying, like, no, like, we're good. Like, we've paid him, $100 million or whatever they pay him. I can completely understand that. But when when it's an NFL team in the organization, both teams are out of the playoffs. Hey, let's interview your offensive coordinator because we liked his offense. No, we're good.
You can block.
We're just gonna go ahead.
I feel like that'll be fixed. Well, to be fair, I think this was voted almost unanimously.
It was unanimous,
in the owners' meeting. So I don't know how much you're going to get out of that.
I just don't like that. Like that to me, that's stupid. Like you want the best of the best to coach teams. No, like that's part of the rivalry. Like, oh, you left us to go coach there. Like, what the hell is wrong with you?
So they made
you left New England to go to Detroit. Matt Patricia, what's your problem?
He took the money. I believe that's what happened. He took the money and ran.
But I mean, like, that's what I just don't understand. Like, why do that if you're the NFL? Like, there's no need to make this league more toxic than it already is. Like,
it is a very toxic in general. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was going to just kind of segue a little bit. We also have, besides the coaching changes, we have the Kardashians right here in the NFL with the Pittsburgh Steelers.
No, for sure.
All year long, we have Le'Veon. And we still, like I said, there's still rumors of where he's going. Some people think Colts. Some people think Ravens.
Oh, if he goes to the Colts, they win the Super Bowl next year.
And yeah, exactly. And that's scary. That's a scary thought. With the offensive line they got right now, with the offensive line they have right now, it's scary.
Yeah.
Antonio Brown and Big Ben. Antonio Brown's like 30 years old right now, the receiver. He's received the most catches, and for whatever reason, big drama guy. Don't know why. You think he'd be mature about everything.
Fortnite does that too,
man. It seems like Big Ben might have been the one instigating.
Yeah.
I mean, they both are like that, though. And that's the thing. Someone's got to go. I feel like Andrew would agree with this. Andrew might be like yelling at us here.
But it's not going to be Big Ben, though.
No,
it won't be Big Ben.
For sure.
No, it won't be Big Ben. Absolutely. They've been through him with the rape allegations and everything like that. It won't be Big Ben. But Antonio Brown.
The what?
Huh?
The what?
The Big Ben kid.
What? The what?
All right.
I was making... Because they don't bring that up.
Oh, got you. Exactly. Antonio Brown is definitely... he's a big name and everything. I don't think... He makes great numbers, but there's got to be a fall-off somewhere. But I say that, and DeAndre Hopkins had a 1,000 receiving yards this year. So
and
Julio did. Yeah, and Julio did. And he plays 99% of snaps.
Yeah.
So I could see him definitely going somewhere. Wherever he goes, he's going to make immediate improvement, immediate starter, immediate playoff team.
All I've heard is the 49ers, but that's also because
Does he have to be traded?
no, he hasn't been traded.
No,
yet.
he hasn't been traded. Does he have
Does
to?
he have to be traded?
He doesn't have to. No,
Is he a free agent?
no.
I don't think so.
I mean, to leave Pittsburgh, he has to be traded,
That's what
Yes.
I'm
or
saying.
he
Yeah,
can,
yeah,
or
yeah.
he can, or he can demand a release,
Okay.
and they can either be just like, oh yeah, sure, like here's your release, here's your money that we didn't pay you, you're guaranteed.
I don't see him
$200 million,
I don't
but-
see him going to the point of leaving, but I could see Pittsburgh. He's a first, at least a couple second
Oh,
rounds.
this is for sure the downfall of the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Thank God.
It's been
years.
it's been a
years
good
in the
run.
division.
it's been a good run, but
They'll still put up on a show. They'll still put on a show, but the Priest is still out there. I mean, I think they will. I think they will.
with Josh Dobbs a backup quarterback.
But- Yeah.
and
They'll find
I
something.
mean, you have James Conner, and that's it. Other than, you have Juju, but like you've even said multiple times, Juju's only good when you have a star receiver, on the other side of the field because everybody's double coveraging him.
Yeah, exactly.
Juju's only good in one-on-one.
See, I thought that'd be the case with Tyler Boyd, but AJ Green went out, and Boyd still played spectacular.
Yeah.
Which is a hell of a surprise with AJ Green being 32
Yeah.
and getting hurt every other game. So it's good news.
What do you guys feel like you need? I'm addressing the Bengals. What do you think you need in free agency or in the draft? Just a couple quick things, just position wise. Maybe
You
not
guys have
players.
what, the number 11?
Yeah, we have the 11th pick, which you told me, you the one that said it first, and after thinking about it, I think it's a good idea because I was thinking tight end. You brought up one of LSU's backers or linebackers, and I think that would be a hell of a pick. Seeing how abysmal our defense was all year long, being I think ranked last in almost every single category.
Replacing Burfitt.
Yeah, Burfitt's just not it anymore. I do think we have some young linebackers that are good. Nick Vigil, but he was hurt all year.
Vigil did play well with you when he was okay, though. He played very well.
And if it's not that, I would say quarterback. There's no good quarterbacks to take, so I think you need to take either tight end or
Especially at 11.
linebacker.
I don't think so.
Yeah, you got to.
You could've had-
Next year, you start looking at it.
Yeah, you could have had Hubert, but he stayed.
In free agent, I would try to whatever good offensive lineman there is, honestly, because we
Any,
got to run
any
that.
offensive line.
Well, that's what I'm worried about with the Tampa. We have our left tackle is going up into free agent if we don't resign him. And he's one of the. If he goes, he'll be one of the better ones in free agency. And people. That's not the most glamorous thing to follow linemen, but they make it. You see the Colts with their 4th or 5th round pick last year drafted a left guard. But he has been the biggest difference maker. He could be, if you just kind of ignore Baker Mayfield, of course it's hard to do, but if you look at that pure, what they've done for a team, he could be Rookie of the Year.
Well, people don't understand that, so let's talk about you guys looking for free agency. The Bengals have been on a downward spiral since Whitworth left.
Yeah.
And we have not been able to recover since. And we just didn't have the money. We had the money. We just didn't pay the money.
Yeah.
So we drafted Abuehi and I can't think of the other guy's name. It sucked. Sucks so bad. And our pick this Preston's been good. He's also hurt, but Abuehi and then we have no competent left tackle.
Well,
Or
you
right tackle, or left guard, or right guard.
you will try to pull a Cowboys and try to draft
you still-
Travis Frederick.
They do have Dallas's old line coach. So, if he can get some guys, it'll be good.
I guarantee that your old offensive line has improved.
I think he did the best he could with who he had.
Yeah.
And I'm not mad about it. So maybe even in the free agents, I said linemen, in the drafts and these later picks, you got to get somebody because Dalton's a good quarterback when he has time to make the right decision.
Yep. And when you give AJ Green time to get his big slow tail up the
Or
field,
Boyd or Russ
Yeah.
or you got Joe Mixon now, and then I think we got Bernard is an underrated back who doesn't get a lot of touches.
Joe Mixon. Or you already said him.
I did say Joe Mixon,
Yep.
who by the way led the AFC and yards, but has managed to not make the Pro Bowl, but it's fine.
it's okay.
guys.
We just
It's
got
fine.
from some people sitting or choosing not to, or some other weird things go on. Mike Evans finally made the Pro Bowl.
Great.
It's snub, but anyway, I don't care about the Pro Bowl. It's a popularity contest is all it is. So don't be too upset about it. For Tampa, anyways, for the offseason, I feel like we released Jared McCoy. Big bold move. He's I mean, he's one of those like franchise guys that people love to see and everything. He's just asking too much money for what he's doing. We've got a great rotation going on right now. Jerry McCoy's good. If he's gonna ask for more money, then we need to release him. We need another linebacker. But for free agent wise, I love all the big names that are out right now. Le'Veon, I mean, all that. But Le'Veon's not going to come to a place where he doesn't have no line. We definitely need to look at that as well.
Yeah, he doesn't want to get exposed as not being
the best as he
exactly,
is. Yeah.
So Josh Allen was projected like around the 10th round pick from Kentucky. Just imagine if he gets it.
That's it?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
SEC Player of the Year.
From the mock drafts that I've seen, which granted it's
they
been
just
a
released
while.
one today. I haven't looked at it yet. But I thought he was top 3 in almost everything.
I was about to say, you know how crazy it would be if he got drafted by Buffalo?
Bengals.
I was saying Buffalo because
I say Bengals. If he's there at 11,
they would have 2 players with the same name.
Boom. I mean, you already know the Jets are drafting Benny Snell, right? Like,
oh yeah,
Jets,
for sure.
It's gonna happen.
Number 3, Benny and the Jets.
I don't know about if it's worth a 3rd round pick because they have other issues.
No, do you know the marketing tactics that they could use? Like,
definitely, maybe a 3rd, 4th round. Like, listen, you know how many jerseys we're gonna sell? Like, it's irrelevant that it's a good point.
But we are aware that Benny Snell is not going to be like
no,
for sure. He's 3rd or 4th.
And I'm not even sure if his NFL career will be that great because he lacks, I think,
small
the
guy.
speed.
Yeah.
He's a small guy too.
Well, I mean, yeah, but I think it's the speed.
Yeah, he's more of like a. I don't want to say
it's a weird power
like he's just like a power back.
It's a weird power back.
He's just gonna run through you. He's not gonna be the guy that breaks off for 30 yards like Zeke.
I think he's going to be a 3rd down back. That's all he's going to be used for. You need a 1st down. It's 3rd and inches. You got to put him in.
Yeah. I mean, like he'll get you 4 yards, but that's about it.
He's a good character. And I think wherever he goes, he'll definitely be part of some kind of an ad campaign or whatever.
I always love him.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a goofy guy. He's a good guy. People love that.
Snell, yeah.
I can still see. This is just a random point. I was just looking at the draft order here. I can see Jacksonville getting rid of Leonard Fournette. He has been nothing but problems for them.
And Jalen Ramsey.
Yes. I could see, both of them, honestly. I was talking to Alex earlier about that I could see them getting rid of both those.
They're 2 key guys, yeah.
And I would love to have either one. I don't care about the locker room issues. I need it. But to be fair, I say that, and D-Jax was a locker room cancer. Deshaun Jackson was a locker room cancer. And so was, I'm not going to get his name right, Hargraves, at corner. When we played Pittsburgh this year, defense coordinator told him to follow Antonio Brown. He said, "Nah, you pay corners $15 million for that. You're only paying me $7 million." So he'll be released next year. If he's not, I'm gonna be upset. You don't just come out and say it's not like his wife. His wife had like a podcast with him. She's crazy, dude. She's like psycho. Like people like it's a big Bucks thing. It's like you can't live in a relationship that long and be a little bit crazy because like she's crazy, man. I'm not even kidding. I know it's not that important, but like he went on there talking crap about like how he doesn't have to do all this and. He sat the second half of the Week 17 game because he was on his phone during halftime. So I'm not about that. That's JPP was talking about locker room cancers, and he's obviously one of them. Him and Deshaun Jackson. I like Deshaun Jackson. I love his progress on the field and everything, but we'll trade him to find someone else, and we'll
I'm
also
glad we
trade
never
him.
got him. It seems like he went to every NFC team except for the Cowboys.
You would love to have him. Though.
I don't think I would.
You would love to have him.
I don't think I would.
Yeah, you say that.
You
like Amari Cooper? You'd like Deshaun Jackson.
Nope,
if you like Amari Cooper, you'd like Deshaun Jackson.
I'm content with Amari Cooper.
All right, but anyways, I'm pretty sure that's probably a good 3 weeks in the NFL. I mean, we still have more coming up with the offseason and everything. That always gets exciting and
especially draft.
Gets a little bit. I must say, but it gets boring up to that point though. But the NBA, man, been really shaping up to be a heck of a season. Nuggets have performed out of their mind. I don't think anybody really predicted this. The rookies have all been playing well. Ben Simmons, Rookie of the Year again. All jokes aside, though. But, man, I watched one of the Sixers game when they played who was it they played the other night? I can't remember. I'm sorry. I can't remember saying I think it was the Rockets. I may be wrong. I must say, I'm crazy.
Our San Francisco fan here should chime up.
Yeah. Anyways, but Ben Simmons, man, it's just awful seeing him try and shoot anything that's not in the post.
Did he actually take a jump shot?
He took a jump shot.
Are you talking about last week?
Yes.
We played the Clippers, the Suns, and the Mavericks.
It was the Clippers or it might have been the Mavs too. I watched 2 of them. Been watching a lot more NBA and things like that. In case you guys are concerned, but Ben Simmons, man, I like him, but man, I didn't realize he was that bad. He was that bad.
Yeah, he's more of just like a.
I thought it was a meme. I thought it was a meme. It's not a meme.
I bet he's not even working on it. I bet he doesn't care. He's like, I don't need
Until he
do
gets,
that.
yeah, exactly.
I mean, he's like, I don't care. I got, Jimmy Butler can be taking that shot while we're on the topic of Jimmy Butler. Hey, bud, why don't you talk about Jimmy Butler?
I don't like it because of who you traded him for.
That's gonna bite you in the ass bad if he doesn't resign.
But also, he's caused a lot of issues.
Exactly.
So
if you don't sign him, you just gave up Robert Covington and Dario Saric.
Well, the problem there was
sucks.
I think Embiid and Ben Simmons are great players, but they're post players. They play in the post.
Yeah, they need somebody to spread the
floor.
floor out.
Yeah, you need Covington to spread the floor.
Right.
Jimmy Butler takes his shots, but Jimmy Butler doesn't take smart shots all the time either.
He's also not a perimeter threat, really.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
not where he spends his
That's what you need. You need a perimeter threat, and you got that one boy.
It's just a Charlotte fan that we hit a last-second 3 on, but that's
besides
the point.
But who is it?
No.
The other guy that starts for you. I can't remember his name off the top of my head.
Reddick?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he's
a pretty decent.
He's a 3 and D. Yeah.
You need an automatic guy at that 3 range right now.
Yeah. I don't know. There's pros and cons to Jimmy Butler. Obviously, wherever he goes, there's going to be locker room issues. No matter what. And I mean, he's only been there for what?
Not even a couple months.
A couple months. Yeah. And he's already trying to say stuff about the organization. Nah, come on, dude. You got to at least be there for 2 or 3 years before you can do that.
Or at least keep quiet
about it.
He
doesn't have to because he's a free agent.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he doesn't have to.
He's going to get a max deal if he goes to the Nets or the Knicks.
For sure. But I don't see him going to the Knicks, though.
I see him going to the Nets.
I could see that, but I mean...
He needs to go to a team with no other star. There's no other star there where he can do whatever he wants to do.
yeah, for sure.
Can live the life he wants to live.
For sure. I mean, he said he wants to go to a basketball city, or is that... Yeah, that's him. I was thinking of Kyrie for a second, but there's pros and cons. He's an amazing player. Don't get me wrong. He's improved this team, but he's also caused this team to go through so much more stress than it needed to.
They're too young for all this.
Ben Simmons just trying to get in a car with Kylie Jenner. Leave him alone.
Leave him alone.
But I mean, seriously, you didn't have all this. Oh well, first it was Joel Embiid that had problems with Brett Brown. I don't think it's Brett Brown. I think it's Jimmy Butler. But I mean, he was like, oh yeah, since we've gotten Jimmy Butler, I've basically been standing on the 3-point line because Jimmy Butler likes to drive in. No, he's a center. Put him in the paint. I don't care if he can shoot a 3. He's not Mo Bamba, but Bol, who is out, by the way, for the rest of the year, which kind of breaks my heart. But I mean, for real, I'm okay with them not re-signing him. I'm not. Yeah. But like I said, I'm not okay with what we gave if we're not going to try and re-sign.
Sorry about that train noise, by the way.
Because I mean, at this point, you have to re-sign Jimmy Butler.
You have to at least attempt to.
You have to at least attempt to re-sign him.
You could sign a trade.
You could, but who's really worth that much money? Figuring that we give him a max contract because we do have room for that.
I don't think. Yeah, I guess he wouldn't he? But I don't know. I don't like him getting a max because he had problems in Chicago.
Yep.
He had problems in Minnesota, and now he's having problems here. So I don't think it's the fit. I think it's the guy. And I think it's just wherever he goes, he's going to be, whining and complaining because everything's not how he views it.
Literally, Carmelo Anthony.
Yeah, I mean, he's a little bit more talented right now than Carmelo.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's frustrating. It's annoying. Especially giving up the talent you guys got.
Yeah, for sure.
Robert Covington just fit too nicely on that team.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't know. I'm waiting to see when Markelle gets back because I immediately want to trade Markelle Fultz.
How we just trade Blake Buck and Butler? Just switch it real quick.
I don't know about that. Jimmy Butler somewhat in the All-Star race.
Speaking of the All-Star race, taking a break. You guys haven't noticed, been keeping up with it. Dwayne Wade is second in guards, and Kemba is third, meaning he wouldn't be a starter. And the game is in Charlotte, and that is a disgrace. There's no possible way that Dwayne Wade should ever be a starter over Kemba in general. Then you have the fact that the game's in Charlotte, and that you're just ruining somebody's life right there. Mine. You're ruining my life.
Mine.
So you're here first, but voting for Dwayne Wade and vote for Kemba. It should be Kyrie and Kemba. That should be the 2 starting guards. It's the 2 best guards in the Eastern Conference, and arguably Kemba is one of just the best guards in general.
Vote for Luka.
That's a little insane. That's a little crazy that he was second in the front court
For
voting.
sure. Like,
That's crazy.
I'm a big Luka fan. I'm not a
I like
fan of
Luka.
his jersey
I
number
am a big
because that's a bust pick.
Well, do you know why? His
That's
jersey
a-
number 77?
Well, it's because he was number 7.
Yeah, and somebody else had it.
Yeah.
And they refused to give it to him.
But I mean, like, still don't
What about him?
don't
I mean,
don't
I
choose like the
understand.
biggest bust number ever. Like,
So,
I mean, at
obviously he's not a bust. Obviously he's out there killing it. He's hitting a step back three on literally anybody and
I
everybody.
guess not.
I mean,
But,
he could be.
but I
He
don't.
could be the fifth number
I don't-
23 we have.
I don't like the thought. I also don't like people wearing 23.
Yeah, I don't
honestly, like
No opponent ever wore that jersey. I don't think.
I liked LeBron better when he was 6, not 23. But like as I was saying, like I don't want my MVP to wear number 77. Like that's
So
doesn't
Luka
appeal
for
to
MVP
me.
right now?
Huh?
Luka for MVP?
Not even close.
Nah.
Future.
come on.
I said
Okay.
future. Future.
All right, I'm
MVP.
not saying we got a
No.
lot of names
No,
ahead of
he's-
him right now.
For sure,
we
rookie
got,
of the year.
We
The
got,
way, If he
okay.
keeps up the way he's playing right now, for sure, rookie of the year. No one comes close.
Giannis is playing out of his mind right now. James Harden has dropped 40 points in like 9
He
games.
might be the best offensive player we've seen in recent times. Now that
But,
Kobe's
I
been
mean-
retired for a few years, just offensive player in general, I'm taking him over Steph. I'm taking him over KD. If all I want is offense,
We're
that's
talking
all I
about-
want.
He
Who we
also.
talking
Jimmy
about?
Butler as being the best
Oh.
offensive player.
Oh, I was talking about James Harden.
What did I
You
say?
said
You
Jimmy
said Jimmy
Butler.
Butler.
Oh my
I was
God.
going to say, I don't know where you're going to. I took a
Sorry.
shot there.
I meant James Harden. James Harden is the best offensive player we've seen in the recent memories now that Kobe's been retired. And I don't want to hear anybody saying Kobe's in because he's not even playing now. That's all I'm talking about. Right now in this NBA, he's the best offensive player in my mind.
He also
Absolutely.
leads the league in steps taken before a tackle.
That's
Right in
Steph
front of-
disrespected him. Yeah,
right
a
in
little
front
bit.
of LeBron.
Yeah,
But
but
I'm not gonna say that he doesn't do stuff weird like that. But if they're not gonna call it, and he's
No.
very aware of that,
For
and
sure.
he knows where the refs are located and how to draw
It's
a
smart.
foul and
It's
how to
smart.
get away with fouls. Then he understands the game way better than most players do it. He's the best offensive player we have.
I will give you this. I think he's the better scorer in the NFL or NBA. I'm sorry, excuse me. But I'm on the Russ train right now, purely based on while James Harden scores a lot of points, his assists are lacking. When he gets a triple double, he's got 10 or 11 assists.
Well, he has Chris Paul on his team. He doesn't need to get assists.
I still like I like
He's
something
like
like that. I
They
guess
also
you
have
got a point. I
Clint
guess
Capella.
yeah, it's literally in his name. He's just gonna shoot.
His job
Yeah.
is to get a bucket.
Four.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
He's about bucket.
You got a great point.
He's going to get his at the end of the day,
You got
cash
it,
his
great.
paycheck, and then win another MVP.
You got a great point. I still like that team best.
Won't
I don't
ever-
think he wins MVP. I'm just saying he's the best offensive player.
Won't ever win.
Anything, but you have Giannis right
I
now.
have Giannis. If the Bucks, because they're first in the East.
Yep.
You
They
said
are.
you know they're first in the West, but the Bucks are first in the East, and that's because of Giannis.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh, absolutely.
They got a new coach. That's true, but
Can you
if
give
look
me
at
3 other players on the Bucks team?
He's like, give you 3 players on the Bucks
Give me
team.
3 players on the
There
team.
is Chris Middleton.
All right, now you no help from him anymore.
There is, I believe, Tony Snell
Okay.
and Thonmaker.
Okay. All right, he's got it. All right, never mind. All right, you called me on my crap. All right.
Henson's on there. Matthew Dellavedova.
Malcolm Brogdon.
All right, yeah,
Rookie
right.
of the
Put
year.
me down.
Rookie of the
Put me
year.
down. Put me down. All right, put me down. Okay, I got you.
Take your L.
All right, take my L. I walk away. What was it? I think someone did that with the Suns. It's like no one can handle him. I'm like,
Besides
I got
Devin Booker,
I could
probably.
get Devin Booker. Yeah, I got Devin
DeAndre
Booker.
Ayton. Yeah.
Josh Jackson, DeAndre Ayton,
Trevor Ariza.
Trevor, no.
No, Reese is not on
Oh,
there.
yeah, that's right. He got
Yeah,
traded.
come on now. That was a while ago. I knew that one.
Kelly Oubre,
Yep.
You could do more
Ryan
than
Anderson.
you could do more than the internet could.
Frank. No.
Give me a team right now. I got this.
The Knicks.
Yeah, I think Knicks was the other one with Kevin Knox.
Porzingis, Kevin Knox,
Frank.
Trey Burke,
Matt-
Frank Ntilikina,
Yeah, I can't say his last name.
He watched a lot of NFL.
Mitchell
NBA.
Robertson,
Yeah.
who's a rookie.
Mhm.
And that's fine.
That's enough. That's enough. That's enough.
You
It's
got
fine.
a starting 5. It doesn't matter.
Congratulations. Yeah, congratulations. We got it. It's okay. All right. Anyway, but NBA's been absolutely tearing it up this year. Better than the whole Warriors killing everyone, which have honestly the Warriors have been being lackluster this year.
Has-
I mean, they've
I
been
haven't
really
seen-
worrying people.
Has DeMarcus Cousins came back yet?
No,
No, not yet.
no, not yet.
So he was scheduled to return in December.
January,
it was
February.
always-
It was always kind
In
of.
the new year, like it would always
Oh,
be 2019.
okay. I thought it was like December is when he was.
And that's the big reason he went there, though, because he would have had no rush.
Yeah.
I mean, and we've
Yeah.
seen, since we've last recorded, you've seen the footage of him like crossing up KD
Yeah,
and stuff like
yeah.
that. But even then, he was slow. Like I know he's not a fast guy in general, but man, there's been people. I could get off the couch faster than he got to the basket there. I mean, it was slow. So I don't know how that's it's going to work. Maybe even he doesn't start at center. Maybe he comes in like a second team. I mean,
No, he's got to start because the dude they have starting is nobody. Either it's Kevin Looney.
but his minutes will just be cut very, 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 very short. He might start the game, but his minutes will be.
I feel like he should
lackluster.
get like 15 minutes to start.
I mean, he'll be restricted, but like, you might as well just go ahead and put him in there. Because this is who he's going to be playing with. Don't give him garbage minutes. That's not good for anybody to get.
No.
And you don't want to give him. I wouldn't put him in the second team because I would want him playing with my best guys.
Yeah.
So he gets
So when you're out there,
the time he does play, he's getting the best touches and the best offensive scheme that they have. But speaking of the Warriors and kind of the Cavs, if you guys saw Patrick McCaw sign with the Cavs,
Yes.
he got released like 10 days in,
Rip.
and now the Warriors are calling for the officials to look into that. Which
Really?
I don't. Yeah, because so what happened is the Warriors had him.
Mhm.
They didn't have to get rid of him. Then the Cavs offered him, so they had to either match or let him go, and they didn't match it, and now he's gone. Now he's a free agent. They lost him for no reason technically because now they could probably re-sign him again because he's a free agent, but they lost him for no reason because they just decided to drop him for Cameron Payne. He got dropped by the Bulls. Makes no sense.
Yeah,
Who
for
the
sure.
Bulls who lose by 50? Yeah,
Why would you? And Patrick McCaw got meaningful minutes last year in the playoffs and stuff. He had to step up and play.
Yeah, I mean,
And you let him go for Cameron Payne.
yeah.
But what's
Not
the whole
even-
investigation in there about?
I'm not sure what they could claim, but I guess they're just like teams shouldn't be allowed to,
I guess they're just challenging the rule.
yeah,
suppose,
probably
like-
saying like we need to look into this because we
Yeah.
have to get rid of him because we can't afford the
Well,
offense.
exactly, and that's exactly what it is. They just can't afford it. They really can't. They can't afford it.
Yeah, but I mean, they shouldn't. I mean, I guess if a team's gonna let him go, then why do
I
that?
feel like it should be a player's choice. Like, this team is going to offer you this much, so if you want to go play there, go ahead. But
That's a good point. I guess he made the decision to sign the deal.
yeah, I mean, he could have got another ring.
Okay. Well, in other news, today it's officially came out that we are interested. The Hornets, being me, the Hornets are interested in Kevin Love, and I think we've all seen this. We've all heard it, all season long because Kevin Love does not belong in Cleveland to die and rot. I mean, you could say he's not an all-star anymore and he's not the best player on the team, but he's definitely better than just sitting there in Cleveland.
He's the best player on their team, on the Cleveland team, just when he's healthy.
I mean, he's averaging, I think, like 17 and 12 for the few games he's played. And I want him bad. And you have NBA executives today saying that he's not worth anything. One of them even called him a dinosaur. Not sure what that meant because the dude can play in the modern NBA just fine. LeBron James turned him into a perimeter threat. So I think we can give up Frank Kaminsky and Marvin Williams. I think you can make a deal. Throw in a second-round pick. Maybe get ballsy enough to throw in a first.
I wouldn't give up a first for Kevin Love.
I absolutely would.
Really?
Well, I mean, I guess you do need a big
Yeah,
man.
he would do
If they took
anything.
Batum.
He would
If
take.
they took Batum,
They would have to say,
Okay.
yeah. If they took Batum, yeah, give him the first. But because
they
I
can
mean,
have all firsts.
they would need
They
that.
have a first and a second. And Batum for Kevin Love. I'm doing that all day long. Batum is just, it's so frustrating to watch him play because you can see that the skill used to be there, and every now and then he'll try to show you his flashes of what he used to be, and it's just like, it's ugly, it's sad, and it's just not fun to watch.
Yeah, I feel it.
Do y'all have an NBA champion in mind?
I hate to
Philadelphia
say,
76ers.
I hate to say the Warriors. I mean, they're gonna get together.
Yeah.
They're gonna get together around playoff time. I don't want them to win. Definitely, who I want though will probably be. I want the Bucks to make a big run in the East.
I think it'll be your Raptors.
I'm thinking the Raptors.
I like the Raptors. I really like what Kawhi's done.
And honestly, I don't know who I would take over Raptors and Warriors because
I think it'd be very refreshing to see the Nuggets make it to the championship game after missing the playoffs. That's just cool. And it's cool to see that nobody on their team's averaging more than 18 points per game. It's a team effort. And even though, Jokic is the most dominant center that's playing right now, and he doesn't even take more than, 10 shots a game at the time.
for sure.
So it's just fun to watch them. I like the way the Nuggets play. They play sound basketball. But I think Kawhi in the East is going to run through the Eastern Conference, and then I can see him locking down Kevin Durant. And you just kind of hope that Kyle Lowry will slow Steph down. And I think he's capable of it. I don't know about Clay, though. Oh, you got Danny Green. Let Danny Green
Yeah.
shoot with him.
I mean, that team matches up nicely with them. Like,
Hey, that's what I'm
honestly,
saying.
it
The more
does.
we talk
Yeah.
about it, then
Yeah.
they have Pascal Siakam, who I don't think anybody is athletic as him on that team besides maybe Kevin Durant. I don't think Draymond's going to have trouble you. He's not really done a whole lot this year.
No.
Besides piss off Kevin Durant.
Yeah, exactly. Besides bringing the napkins. I mean, they're falling apart, and I'm happy to see it. No one likes to see that.
Everybody who's not a Warriors fan.
Oh yeah.
Honestly, at this point, I see them not signing Draymond and then just signing Kevin to the max.
They would probably prefer that, but I don't know if Kevin wins. I don't feel like Kevin wins.
They have to let Clay go too.
And I like Clay. I feel like Clay
won't.
Thompson's one of those OG guys that's been there for a
They
while.
won't get rid
man.
of Clay. Yeah.
If Clay leaves, they could sign Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
But I believe that
Clay could
wants
start.
to stay there.
Clay could run a team.
Clay
Clay's one of the few guys I feel like.
Well, it depends on which team, because the reason he's so successful in Golden State is because first, he's not the first option.
Yeah.
Second, like, they spread out the floor, so when you're running the floor, somebody covers Kevin Durant so he doesn't get a dunk. Klay Thompson's wide open on a three.
He'd be great at the Sixers.
He would,
be wonderful.
but we don't have that cap space.
Yeah.
I bet he goes to the Knicks. Because then, if Porzingis comes back healthy, then, oh, God, we got another super team in the East.
Oh, yeah,
right
for
there.
sure.
Especially if Kyrie signs there, too. Which they can't afford
Absolutely
it.
could. They could.
Or traded there.
Did you see what Jason Tatum said today?
No.
He said, I would trade myself for Anthony Davis, too.
He knows. He knows. He's not
knows.
dumb. He's not dumb. I mean, and that's Anthony Davis he's one of those guys that he will shake up the league when he goes into free agent. I think that's one of the reasons that Pelicans still have a team in New Orleans right now.
For sure.
I genuinely do. I don't think if he hasn't been there the past few years, if he hasn't been there the past few years, I genuinely feel like that franchise moves.
I mean, even with one of the best players in the league, they still are the bottom of league attendance.
Oh yeah,
which is sad.
It really is. Like,
I could never see it come to Louisville, but I would really love to see it come to Louisville.
Like, I think that Anthony Davis, I think that he could win MVP, but he has to be on the right team. So,
and quit getting hurt.
Yeah, that too, because it's every year. But I don't know. Like, last year he had that type of year where it was just like he's all right, and then he got hurt, and then he's just like, or no, DeMarcus Cousins got hurt. That's so bad. It was a year before that where he got hurt like halfway through, and it was just like, the Pelicans are bad now. Like, yeah, I mean, he's that player that can switch your franchise up, but is he worth that? It's kind of like a Carson Wentz situation too. Although there's nobody to replace him, but it's just like, is he really worth all this money if he's just going to get hurt? Like,
I think so. I think he's an all-star. I think he, like Skip said, I think he needs to
for
get
42 games.
I think he needs to. I mean, if he wins all 42 games, you're in the playoffs. I mean,
not the Western Conference, you might.
Yeah, great point.
I mean, if he goes and plays with LeBron, yeah, sure, he'll play all season because
you need a little bit of a support, guys.
I'm sorry, if his usage rate went down by going to a good team with other players, they might prevent injuries.
Yeah, I mean, you saw.
He's not going balls to the wall 100%.
Get less minutes.
Like I said, you saw it last year with DeMarcus Cousins. Like, that team looked pretty good, especially with Rajon Rondo at the point guard. I mean, it just depends on which team either he goes to or is traded to.
Yeah.
I also don't see the Boston Celtics giving up Jason Tatum, but that's besides the point.
Wow, what a wonderful week, guys. We're so glad that we're all back together. It's great. We're actually, maybe not next week, but the week after, we'll be trying a couple different things with maybe not doing everything in person. We'll see how that works out. So if things look out a little bit weird or different, or maybe even skip a week or something like that, that might be it, guys. But hope you guys stick with us and everything like that. Is there anything else you guys want to sign off with? Any other last-minute news or anything?
Just thank you for, letting us have these few weeks off and enjoying break, and I hope that you had a wonderful holiday season.
Happy Honda Days.
We also, happy Honda Days. We also do have merch. We'll link that in the description or something along those lines.
Yeah. For the first, or it was on 30% off, but it's no longer. They have shirts, tank tops, sweatshirts, hoodies, phone cases, mugs, laptop cases, anything, almost anything that you could want. Go ahead and try and support us. It's at a decent price. I think it's $15 for a t-shirt. It's got our logo on it. there's any other logo you might want or request or anything like that, we might be able to make it happen. Just thanks for all of your all support. Whether it be telling us give us recommendations or
Let's
anything
talk
like
about
that.
the Bengals or
Yeah,
anything like
yeah.
that.
Sassy Steelers, we appreciate you, even though you've been silent. We really appreciate, the feedback that everybody's given us, all the views on SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, YouTube.
However you choose to listen.
Yeah, no matter what, it's appreciated. We're just a couple of college kids trying to, talk about sports, basically.
We were going to do this anyway, so might as well make it pretty
Yeah.
informative and create something about it.
Yeah, and it's just great that we have you guys along on the ride.
Thank you guys very much. This was week number 16 or 17. Lost my number of the Final Buzzer podcast. Thank you for tuning in.